Today, on Starsector, we move to the ultimate profiteering strategy in the sector, owning our own planet. Because why make the money myself when I can just have my valued constituents make it for me? But first, we need to acquire a few things. More money, because this shit's expensive. A stronger fleet, because the sector won't sit quiet while I hoover up all their markets. And even more items to buff our planet's industries. Along the way, we'll demolish relics from a past empire, be demolished by said relics, and encounter, things. So stay tuned, and don't forget to turn your transponder back off. Being completely honest, there's a fourth thing we need, an actual planet. And while our ragtag group of trade ships could probably manage a small exploration mission, we'd run out of fuel fast and be at risk from even weak enemies. To solve that first point, I introduce to you the MV oil spill. And before we can buy combat ships, we need weapons to arm them with. And unfortunately, the only dealer I know got busted stealing some blueprints. That means we'll have to stockpile what we can scrape off the open and the black market in this abandoned siphon station I found. And with that done, I can introduce you to my next misinformed decision.
Technologia!
And then shortly thereafter followed by Greg. Last but not least, I picked up a Condor class carrier, and its name actually turned out kinda cool. Also, please don't roast my loadouts. I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, I still don't, but you know. With our newly acquired and kitted out ships, we set out in search of riches. I set myself a lofty goal of searching this little constellation. In the first system, I spent way too long trying to get to this weapons cache that barely had anything, but at least I found this funky guy. In the second, I happened upon this little remnant drone, an autonomous warship from back when the Tri-Tac was still shitting out AI-controlled horrors beyond human comprehension. But this guy's tiny, so he should be the perfect first combat trial.
No! Stop!
Nice car!
After collecting our measly amount of salvage, we press forward. Now, hopefully in this third system there's some good... Oh, you guys just keep doing what you're doing, I'm just passing by. This system looks pretty big, but it has a warning beacon. Surely if I just stay sneaky we'll be fine. Oh hell yeah, a research station. Now we're talking. That metal bore one day is gonna suck up a ton of metal for me. And a ton of good blueprints and mods. Dang, and a mining station right next door? That's not bad either. Unfortunately, none of the planets in this system were particularly good anyways, but at least we got some good loot. Feeling confident after that, I checked out the last system, which also had a warning beacon, and I'm glad I did. I happened upon this abandoned outpost, which had some decent loot. Then I hit this mining station, which had yet another planet industry upgrade and a decent chunk of rare ore. Since I have that Colossus from before, we were able to load it pretty much all up. Love that thing. After poking around a bit more, I found this research station that was guarded by a remnant cruiser. As you can see by the save scum, I was not very confident, but fuck it, we ball. My strategy going into this fight was simple. If there's only one ship that's actually a threat to my fleet, why don't I just dogpile that one and then kill the rest? Well, that went way better than I was expecting. Maybe the few hours I spent testing these ships was worth it. After collecting my free weapons and AI core, I hoovered up the loot from the research station, which included an even better AI core. I decided to call this expedition quits since our cargo bays were full to the brim. First on our to-do list in the core worlds was to sell all the loot we gained. Pro tip: if you have a lot of different things to sell, don't sell them in one place. You can earn a lot more money if you spend the extra bit of time selling things where they're in high demand. So I better not catch any of you guys selling things without checking that F1 menu first. After making my rounds around the core world, I'm left with 1,000,000 credits. Pretty much where we left off before. With those credits, I decided to pick up 2 new frigates, and after kitting them out, it was time to get back out and explore some more. After poking around a bit, I ran into this bounty fleet that we looked just strong enough to take. For a fleet of that size relative to us, I'll take 2 frigates disabled any day. And you know what else I'll take? All that sweet salvage just for me. Following that, the next 3 to 4 hours of my gameplay, mid. Planet after planet, mid. All not worth anything. Sure, I was making back my money, but at this point, I needed something new, so I decided to switch things up. While swinging by the sector's favorite gas station, I noticed something on the black market. A pristine Eradicator, at a price I just couldn't pass up. After sneaking out my new toy, I stopped on back at my stash. If anything good come out of all that exploration, it was all the guns that I had that I could kit out my new ship with. And you know what's better than 1 Colossus? 2. And I also picked up this Hyperion gunship, which, while expensive, shreds. Filled with confidence by the new additions to our fleet, we set out once again. I decided not to go straight for bounties and do another exploration mission, and boy, did this one pay off pretty well. Eventually I happened upon this fairly sizable domain era fleet. We still overmatched them by quite a bit though with this new cruiser. Since they don't even have shields, they stand basically no chance against my torpedoes. Well, at least I know we aren't underperforming. It was at this point I ran into a domain era battleship defending a large installation. Surely it isn't going to be that hard, right? I mean, it's a battleship, sure, but it's domain. You know, those things, they don't even have shields. They kind of suck, right? Man, if I could read these numbers, I would know the trouble that I was in. Clearly, since there was only one of him and a lot of us, the strategy was simple. Dogpile him again. After my first attempt at this, it was clear this wasn't going to work. And I took a bunch of armor damage. So the next time I tried it, I got my ass whooped. Hindsight being 2020 though, I probably could have won this fight if I hadn't been so aggressive. But, you know, when you're piloting an Eradicator, you kind of have to push, you know? Like, are you really flying an Eradicator if you aren't? To add insult to injury, I ran into this pirate fleet. And I got swarmed by absolute junk, and my ass got kicked. Clearly, this new ship wasn't going to be a crutch for my lack of skill. But rather than go and, I don't know, whine on Reddit or something, I decided I was going to get good at combat in Starsector. So I dragged myself from system bounty to system bounty, taking on whoever I could find. And slowly, things started to change. Turns out, actually playing with your fleet and not charging headfirst into the enemy works out pretty well. Speaking of the fleet, I decided to make 2 new additions to it to make us even deadlier. Since I'd completed all those bounties, the Persian League was actually happy enough to sell me cruisers legally now. So I decided to grab a Griffin-class missile cruiser and a Heron-class carrier. With the previously missing support aspect of my fleet filled out, I finally felt comfortable going and searching for a planet since I could defend it now. And finally, after what felt like ages, I found a home. It may not be much, but it has a low hazard rating, and a low hazard rating means less money out of my pocket and more subjects in faster. Plus, there's a lot of good planets nearby for me to grow into as time goes on. This moment marks the foundation of the garbage men on the planet Compost. Wait, is Compost trash? I don't know. But this is just the beginning. To grow, I'll have to demolish AI space data centers, expand my fleet into a true menace for any foe, and actually learn how industries work. But for now, I think I'll enjoy a nice discolored lobster on my new home. Hey guys, remember Hector from the last video? You know, Hector, this guy. Well, thanks to all the support you guys gave me in the last video. He's doing great now. I mean, just look at him go. Wait, what's that? You guys hear that? A Renault Twingo! You know, I could intervene and help him out, but you know, it's kind of late and I'm hungry. But, you know, if you went down and subscribed and liked the video, I might be more motivated to do so. So, you know, just think about it. Think about Hector.